There we go. Turn that down a bit. Turn that one down a bit to there, and you should be able to hear me. Yeah, well, it's 11 o'clock. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the live stream. And well, this morning, what I'm going to do, first of all, I need to check that everybody can hear me. So if you can hear me, let me know. If you're here listening, just let me know. All right. So the last 24 hours has been pretty unique for X-Plane. Just before Christmas, one of the best developers in the X-Plane world, X-Plane environment, Tolis, have given us access to the updates to the A319, the A321 and the A340, which is brilliant. I think I'm in the A321. I'm never sure what aircraft I'm in because they all look the same until you have a proper look at what's going on. Yeah, I'm in the A321, as we can see here. I'm in the A321, which has had numerous updates, too many for me to go through, and I'm not going to go through the updates apart from we'll have a look at, if I can get there, we'll have a look at the iPad. So they've done this. So you've got your normal AVI tab stuff here. You've got your weight and balance here. Takeoff performance page, which is really good. You can compute that now. Reset it, compute it. Takeoff performance page as well, and then your landing performance page as well. So you can you see there it's not computed. And then on top of that, we've got a full checklist here, which is pretty good, I'd say. Cockpit preparation, engine start, excellent. So we've got a full checklist which you can check, go through everything, check it yourself. So when you've done it, you can go through. Okay. It won't undo for some strange reason. Oh well, not to worry. Oh yeah, it will do. Yeah, you've got to click it. You've got to click undo. There we go. Excellent. So yeah, I mean, and if you did everything like this, yeah, you could just press reset and it resets it all. Excellent. So AVI, AVI tab. The aircraft has had some major updates all around. If you do download it, you can have a look at the change log. Absolutely fantastic. But we're not here to discuss. Wow, that is loud. We'll turn that down. I think that's it. There's so many different audios on here. Right, and I'll tell you what I'll do. I will come in here to my volume mixer and turn that down there. But as I say, we're not here to discuss the A321, as gorgeous as it is. We're here to discuss Frankfurt Airport. Now, some years ago, I met a young man called Vittorio Greco. I met Vittorio through the internet. I think he asked a question, or no, he became a member of X-Plane Dedicated, that was it. And Vittorio Greco was a young man who was into flight simulation. He started scenery development, and then he created a company called Aviotek. Vittorio, I'll be quite honest, I cannot remember whether he lives in Venice or Milan. I think he lives in Venice, or he's from Venice. Anyway, a couple of years later, I managed to meet Vittorio at a flight sim show at Cosford. I was running a forum of developers. I had a developer, I had a YouTuber, I had a number of developers and a YouTuber on the forum that I presented, and Vittorio flew over from Italy to that flight sim show, and we got to meet him, myself, Emma Bentley and Matt Booker. We got to meet him, and a really lovely young man. Great company, great fun, and we had a fabulous, I think 2 days we were at the sim show then. It was a 2-day show, and we had a fabulous time. Vittorio then carried on creating sceneries with his company Aviotek, but also decided to take flying lessons. And within a year or so, he had his private pilot's license. Then he became, I think he got his special multi prop license. And then only this week I was talking to him because he sent me Frankfurt to review, and he's now got his ATPL, and he's a multi-jet certified, and he will be flying for Ryanair starting in the new year. So from somebody who started off in the hobby of flight simulation as a young man, and I mean young man, I think he was probably, when I met him, 17, 18, to getting his private pilot's license, getting his multi-prop turbo license, and then going on to get his ATPL multi-jet license, and now he'll be flying for Ryanair, is marvellous. And on top of all of that, he still has time to create incredible airports with his software development company Aviotek. And I'm pleased today, extremely pleased today, to be able to review Frankfurt for X-Plane 12, but not only for X-Plane 12, X-Plane 11. So there are two versions of this, one for X-Plane 11, one for X-Plane 12, and I have to say, this is absolutely incredible. As you can see, it's been raining in Frankfurt. We've got wet taxiways, runways, etc. The weather is pretty grim. It is raining, but what a beauty this is. Okay, this is absolute. I mean, just look at this here. This concrete over these gates, right? You've got the concrete and you've got the staining of the rain and the weather, and just above that there, where my mouse is, you can see that there. Absolutely superb. So let's have a good look around this. Now, we're inside the terminal here, and I'm never bothered about interiors of terminals, but there is an interior of sorts. If we get down here, yeah. But like I say, I'm never really that bothered about interiors. I'm more concerned about what the airport looks like. But look at this. This is a lot of work. Absolutely superb. You've even got screens. They're not completely legible. You can't read them, but this is superb stuff. There's a bit of a glitch here where the windows don't come all the way down to the floor. But there we are. Oh, I've got it right now. We've got people. They're all hanging around waiting for their aircraft, looking bored like everybody does. And we come to this board here. I mean, we can see the time. Unfortunately, we can't read the flights. What time is it in the sim? That'd be interesting to see if those clocks actually work, because they're saying quarter past 4 in the afternoon. I don't think those clocks will work. That would be too much. And one thing that we have got here is that you can actually see outside. You can see through the windows. Yeah? You get odd glitches if you get a little bit too close, but that's to be expected. So let's get outside and have a look at this airport. It is superb. Absolutely wonderful. And of course it's in X-Plane 12, so it looks all the better for it, doesn't it? I mean, it just looks wonderful. Obviously the environment sounds working quite well. Moved away from my aircraft, which is now you can get the airport with static aircraft or without. Now with static there are not that many aircraft. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's not that many static aircraft. There's a couple, so it's not going to cause you any problems if you were flying on VATSIM. Those aircraft, obviously, if VATSIM traffic ended up on those stands, then you just see 2 aircraft there. But it's not going to cause that much of a problem. But look at the detail of this. This is insane. Look at these air conditioning units here. They're turning around. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, there is a criteria that I have for all airports, isn't there? And we know this. So there's three things. I think it's three things. I seem to have forgotten one of them, but three things. So the main thing is airport clutter. All right, airport clutter, and there seems to be quite a bit of it. You know, there's baggage carts hanging around, containers hanging around. There's some vehicles there, Ryanair and what's that? Frankfurt hanging around. So that there's lots of airport clutter. Yeah, that's one thing. The next thing is the roofs. The roofs. It's very hard to say. Roofs. R-O-O-V-E-S. On the roofs of buildings, I like to see air conditioning units, pipes, conduits, and we have those here. On some airports, you'll find that people just leave them there, or they just put up a very, very poor ortho photo of the roof. But look at this here. I mean, let me try and get to this detail here. So down here, obviously, there's a gap between the buildings. Let me try and get into a different position. Yeah, there's a gap there between the buildings, between that building and this building. And look at these pipes. They go over that. They go over that gap there. These pipes go over the gap. So a real attention to detail. I'm assuming that this is the old tower. Yeah, very nice indeed. Very well. I tell you, look at this work round here. If I can get round to it, it's very difficult because look at the ladders there, the stairs going up to the tower. Look at that. That is such intricate work. Then we've got the monorail, airport monorail. That's the main terminal monorail station. But one thing, unfortunately, we've got a monorail, but there's no train. It goes in there, comes all the way through, right down here to this station, and there's no train, which I found a bit odd because Aviotek have gone to such lengths for detailing, but they haven't put a monorail in, a moving monorail, and I'm wondering, is there going to be an update? I don't know. I'll tell you something else that's missing, and I'm nitpicking, but this is an important one. There's no moving ground vehicles. And an airport of this size, that's all you would see. You'd just see traffic moving around all the time. I flew into Frankfurt once. It was when we went to China. Yeah, it was when we went to China. And we flew from Heathrow to Frankfurt to pick up our A380. There is an A380 on stand here somewhere. There it is. Yep. And we flew to Frankfurt, and we were delayed by an hour because the pilots for our flight to Frankfurt got stuck on the M4 in a traffic accident. They weren't in the accident, they were just stuck in traffic. So we was delayed by an hour. And we were worried, obviously, because we was going to miss our connection at Frankfurt. Anyway, long story short, we landed at Frankfurt. We was taken off our plane, literally taken off our plane. We didn't go through passport control or anything, and we came off the stand, came down the stairs. There was a bus waiting for us at the back of the plane. We got on the bus, and the bus drove across Frankfurt Airport from wherever it is we were on the stand to our A380. We got off the bus. We walked up the steps of the A380. They looked at our passports and tickets at the bottom of the stairs of the A380, and we got upstairs. We went into our seat and virtually took off. I mean, by the time we got to our seats, which was at the back of the aircraft, I'd chosen the seats at the back of the aircraft, we sat down and literally we started taxiing. It was amazing. Anyway, that's just a little story. So as you can see, the weather's pretty rough. Performance for this airport in X-Plane 12 is absolutely superb. Absolutely superb. Texturing's gone a little bit there. Now I know that you can read that sign and you can see that picture, so I don't know what's happened there. Maybe the refresh needs to be done or something for me. But yes, you can read that. In fact, if we come back along this way somewhere, I think, let me just check. Yeah, so all the writing here on the fuel tanks, welcome to Frankfurt, which you would see as you taxi in. The writing on this building, which is Lufthansa Technik, yeah, that's where they do, I guess, a lot of the repairs, Lufthansa. It's just, it's amazing. It's a really, really good airport. And I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's clean the weather up, because it is pretty vile, isn't it? Let's clean the weather up, because that's real world weather as of now. So we'll manually enter the weather with clear goods to clear skies. We'll apply the changes, which won't take very long. Let's see, is it anybody here watching? No, there's not. Oh, Justin, good morning, Justin. You'll be getting 12 tomorrow, and I'll be getting Aviotek Frankfurt. Really liked Aviotek's Dubai, yeah. Well, here we are. I've cleaned it up. Now, one thing I wanted to point out, what I wanted to talk about is the colour of this airport, right? So it's the richness of colour. One of the things that X-Plane 10 failed on, and a little bit of X-Plane 11 in the early days, was colour, right? Things like red. Red in X-Plane looked absolutely awful, and the colours, they were often muted. You kind of got used to it, but look at this. I mean, look at the colouring on that. This is all photorealistic, so Aviotek have spent an awful long time texturing and making sure they've got the right photo textures for everything. That on the tower there, that blue on the tower. Look at that, and look at that ladder, that step. It's a long climb up to that tower. You'd think they'd have a lift in there. So talking about the richness of colour, look at these buildings. This building here. This brickwork. I'm assuming it's brickwork because it's red brick. I mean, it just looks so good. Absolutely superb. All the way around. The texturing. Look at this on the main terminal building as you come into the airport, Frankfurt Airport, and all the weather in there just looks absolutely immense. I can't say enough about this, and not because I know Vittorio. You know, I've highlighted what I think are a couple of issues. The main one for me is that there is no ground vehicles moving, and also the monorail. You know, if the monorail was going backwards and forwards, that would be really unique. But you cannot falter this airport in any other way. Now, I will tell you that it does come with its own mesh as well, and I'm using what am I using? I'm using some Ortho for XP textures for Europe, so most of Germany. The trees here, I'm not sure. I think those are X-Plane 12 trees. The other thing you need to look at, I mean, look, the orthophoto for the airport is absolutely stunning. It's really good, really good. No messing around there. That is top-notch stuff. Looks marvellous. The markings, everything, and you fly into this at night, and I will go tonight so you can see what the night lighting is like. There's the city over there of Frankfurt. That is X-Plane 12, and also I've got Sim Heaven in as well, so that, you know, that's why we've got populated villages and towns as well. I always find it funny that you can have a large city like that and then a suburb just outside, which is, you know, is that a town in its own right? I'm sure it must be. But yeah, look, isn't it fabulous? And then you've got all this over here, which is Lufthansa's stuff, and the cargo is over here. I think this is cargo over here. Yeah, that looks like cargo. And then up here, you got some more cargo with FedEx and Lufthansa cargo up there. So if you fly dog freight, then you can land there. Absolutely superb. Steve Mitchell, don't hear so much from you any longer, Wycliffe. We need someone like you shouting about the merits of X-Plane 12. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, it's because like I don't know whether I should say this, but it's because I can't afford to purchase stuff anymore. I I'm retired. I got to look after my pennies, as they say. I'm desperate for a new computer because everything is slowing down, so I've got to try and save some money for that. And it's just, it's all getting a little bit difficult. But, when somebody like Aviotek, send me their software, then I will review it. Look at this. Look at these markings here. That is absolutely superb. And it is, I mean, I used to do airport development. I used to create sceneries. And to get markings like this, it takes a long time. You can create scripts to do it. These blast fences, absolutely wonderful. Like I said, the one thing that is a little bit disappointing is that there is no moving vehicles on the ground. That's the one thing. That's the only thing I can think of. And that monorail. Yeah. If there were more moving vehicles, this airport would be, well, it wouldn't be 10 out of 10. Nothing's 10 out of 10. But I'm going to give this a 9, a real 9 out of 10. And if it had moving vehicles and everything, it would be 9.5 out of 10. Never give anything 10, because 10 means it's perfect, and nothing is ever perfect. But this is dang close. It really is. I think we should do an approach. What do you reckon? Let's do an approach into Frankfurt. So let's see. I'm going to go runway 25 left. Do a 10-mile approach. Yeah, and hope that I don't put it into the ground. Okay, start new flight. It shouldn't take long. I mean, I'll be in the thingy. So it's for. Can you hear me? Okay, Steve. That's what I need to know. Skymactics. Good morning to you, sir. How are you, Nico? Nice to see you. I'm just going to get the Zebo up, and we're going to do a 10-mile approach into Frankfurt. Nice to see you. So yeah, going back to what you were saying, Steve. Yeah, of course, the last year, my health. I had a little bit of a health issue, but that's all been sorted. I was in hospital back on the 11th of November for planned surgery, which was 100% success. Absolutely amazing. I can't say enough about the NHS, and I know that the nurses are on strike at the moment. Nurses are on strike, but they're striking for more pay, which I agree with. They should have more pay, but I think they're asking for too much money. 19% is a heck of a lot of money, but they do deserve a pay rise. So I'm kind of supporting them. Elective surgeries might be cancelled, but emergencies would be dealt with. So you're doing okay. What's the weather like down there in South Africa? Should be nice and warm. Is it warm this time of the year? It should be. Yeah. We had our very cold weather here a few weeks ago. No, not a few weeks ago. Only last week. Very, very cold here. Very cold. Heavy frosts in the morning. No snow, but there was snow in the north of the UK, but here in Wales, South Wales, it very rarely snows. The conditions have to be perfect for snow here in South Wales, and it's rarely that perfect. Okay, so just waiting for the Zebo 737 to load up so I can take it into Frankfurt. I might even do it at night so you can all see what it looks like at night. Yeah, nice and warm, rain most afternoons, but only lasts a few minutes. My wife has just arrived, shouting the odds as usual. So here we go. Yes, I hear you. I'm live. So, coming into Frankfurt. The Zebo is one of the few aircraft that you can actually just throw into the air. Why is my throttle not working? Come on. Auto throttle. Oh, that's unusual. What's happened here? What's happened? What's happened? Well, we're not going to make that, are we? Let's pause this a minute. Engine's running, the fire changes. I wonder if I've run out of fuel or something. Oh! I think I might know. Oh no, that's off, isn't it? That's fuel off. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Sort yourself out, boy. Right. Sort out my X-camera views. There we go. Oh. Well, I'm not going to make that because I've no engines. Bizarrely. Very strange. Let me reload that. We'll see. Yeah, I've just checked my hardware switches, Nico. It might be it. That might be it. How's the FPS with this? It's okay, but you know, my machine's old. I need a new new system, new graphics card, new chip, everything. So I need a new PC. So, but the FPS is not that bad considering. I'll show you in a minute. It's probably around about 25. Could do with a lot more. But let's just see if I can get my engines to work. Should be okay now. We'll see. Yes, so I hope you're all set for Christmas, Nico, Steve, or Justin, whoever's left watching. Right, here we go. Oh, it's gone again. Oh well, it's not working. Oh, big van has just driven into the street, which is a shame. I'll just get back on the ground, I think, on a remote stand for the time being. Well, no, you mean the scenery at Frankfurt? I have no problems at all with. I think it's, you know, considering my machine is quite old, no problems at all with the FPS. What I'll do when I get on the ground, we'll go outside and we'll put the FPS counter on and we'll have a look. But I find it's okay. Yeah, I find it's okay. Which, considering the age, I mean, my chip is an i7 4770. I'm on an NVIDIA GTX 1080, not even a TI 1080. I have got 32 gig of RAM. So, you know, it's flyable without any doubts whatsoever. It's flyable, and when I first loaded up, there was heavy rain because I had real world weather on. It was quite overcast and cloudy, and yeah, it's fine. Sometimes I won't lie, I will have trouble on that sim, especially if the sim goes below 21 frames, as it often does. What I tend to do then, if I'm flying online in X-Plane 12, is I will just clear the weather, and I've clear weather, and I can just about hold my own then. depending on where I fly into. But at the moment, this scenery seems to be holding up well. Seems fairly well optimized from what I can see. As soon as we get into an external view, I will show you quite quickly what that's like. Okay, I shall be back in one moment. Yeah. So do you want me to do it? Right, here we are. So, there we are. I'm chewing a sweetie. So, there we are. So, horizon and scenery is where you get your hardest hit. And with what? 27. Come on. .25 frames. External. So that's not too bad. I'm sure it was starting in the air yesterday because I did some landings in the air last night. So as you can see, I mean, this is where you're going to get the biggest hit when you're looking at the horizon and the sky. So 26. Look at those trucks. I hadn't seen these before. Bright colours. Whoops, mind the lamppost. I think this is a lovely scenery. I really do. Aviotek's done a good job. Right, you see it dropping there. So it's down to like 16. But this is pretty intensive stuff. Yeah. So it's about 20 FPS. My machine is struggling. It does struggle. Let me have a look up at the sky. Let's get some real world weather on her. See what that looks like. Because it was raining. Yeah, I mean it is stable. It is stable, but it's like I say, it's my computer's old, and you know, with a new machine, it would fly, it would swim in it. So here we are, rain on the ground, obviously. In X-Plane 11, it's better, obviously. You can get this for X-Plane 11 as well. The scenery comes in two varieties, XP12 and XP11. Now, I'm not quite sure whether if you just pay for it once and you get both versions. I think I may be wrong. Vittorio didn't tell me that. He didn't make that quite clear. As you can see, it looks alright. I like it. Anyway, I gotta go because my wife is here. She's been out shopping, so I need to help downstairs. And I will be back. I will see you all soon. Take care. Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays. However you celebrate this time of the year, I wish you all the very best. You take care, and we'll see you soon. Cheerio.